25th, 2021, and the stream is live. Let me just hit the update button a couple more times, make sure that it is actually updated, because OBS likes to lie to me. I'm going to double check on my phone just to make sure. Let us see. Did it actually update the description as I wanted it to? Yes, it did. Okay, cool. Yes, okay. So, yesterday, I believe we were working on... What was it? It was getting something to work. Yes, that was it. Getting something to work. I think it was part of... it was the interactor decorator. That's what it was. Because I remember I found the bug just before I signed off for the night. So, yeah. Basically worked on this. This is our way of doing, like, overrides on a method level and doing that dynamically at runtime. So basically what it does is whenever it conforms to the element interface, which conforms to the Selenium Web Element interface. So anytime we call the click method, it will check if there's an interactor. If there is, it'll run it. If not, it will call the default. So for an element that has no overridden interactions, we just return the element itself. We don't even bother wrapping it with this. But if we have an element on, see if I can actually find an instance of it. Is it in pages? Yeah, it's in test page. So test page here, if it has a click, so in this case for the click interactor, it's the click annotation. If we have that, it will use this JavaScript version of the click instead of the default Selenium version. And so eventually we want to have interactors for every kind of action that we have. So for all of these we want to have an interactor, like a dedicated interactor, and that way we can override any of those methods. But I don't think we're going to work on that today. What we're going to work on is probably just testing the interactions, because I don't think we have done that yet. So I know that we've tested click. We've also, well, we haven't tested click entirely. So the script we're going to be using to do that is, I believe in here, it's the test script. Yeah, so if we click the button, this should fail if the button is disabled, if I recall correctly as to how Selenium works. So, I believe Selenium is hooked up to everything. If we go into VS Code, I can show you that this is the source of the page that we will be working with. So I believe this should work because we have a button, the ID is button, and it's not disabled. The click obviously doesn't do anything, but that doesn't matter. So if I hit Alt-Shift-X-J, that's not doing anything. That's strange. Alright. Let us just run it explicitly then. There we go. And you should see the Selenium browser pop up, or the Firefox browser pop up. And we get the done message here, telling us that that actually succeeded. So now, my theory is that if I open VS Code, and I put disabled on this, disabled, is there any way to open this from here? No. Okay, well, that's fine. Can I just do test page? I can, alright. So yeah, this is now disabled, alright. Okay. Let's clear all of this, Alt-Shift-X-J, and this should fail with a element not interactable exception or something. Or it should succeed, which is not good. Okay. Why did that happen? No, seriously, why did that happen? This shouldn't be able to execute. Perhaps I am wrong? Will Selenium really not warn you that that's not interactable? That can't be right. but I don't have the JavaScript interactor being used. I don't believe you. So, Selenium Web Element click, or whoops, no, Java doc. Alright, so click, where, so this can only throw a stale element. The method will not wait for the page to load. There are some preconditions. The element must be able, and it must have. That's it, huh? It doesn't actually tell you if it's disabled. That seems very strange. I mean, is there a hidden attribute in HTML5? Is that actually a thing? Which is true if the element is otherwise. Different elements not hidden. Follow up. But is there anything I can set to make this actually hidden? Property. It's quite different from the CSS property. HTML5 height width set. So I mean, I guess we can just set the width and height element. Set height and width. Alright, well, can I just say, surely I can't just say height. But if I say hidden, what do I get? Let's just check that. Okay, it actually does hide it. Okay. I was not clear on whether or not that was valid. Alright. Well, in this case, since it's hidden, surely that will cause it to fail? Because it's now hidden. I think that's one of the preconditions at least. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Alright. So this tells us is that we got a element not interactable. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. And then just to double test that theory, if I do this, because the JavaScript interactor doesn't care about that. Yeah, because the JavaScript interactor doesn't care about that, this should work. Yes, okay, perfect. That's what I expected. Okay, so it seems like the click interaction works. I'm happy with that. Alright, so now we have clear. So if I go back here, and I say input, can you close? No, you can't close an input tag, but you say like value equals ABC, or yeah, ABC, sure. That works. Now let's open test page and see what we get. Yeah, the input is now ABC, which is perfect. Let's go back here and unhide this button. Alright, so I think we have a clear step. Is that true? Do we? Or did we bother to implement that? It would be in test script. We say then the user, then the user clears the text in the element input. Let's just call it input. And we can ignore this for now because we know it works. Works. Alright. Alright. No, actually, just don't need to specify that. We can also get rid of this. Okay, so if we clear the text in element input, well, we can test two things at once. We can say then, I know that's always bad, the element input, say, contains the text, or no, yes. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Don't advertise in my chat. We'll say ABC. So then the element contains the text, blah, blah, blah. And let's just double check that this runs. So in theory this should succeed because that's the literal text. XJ. Oh, interesting. Null pointer, huh? Oh, right, that makes perfect sense, actually. So first things first, we actually need to give this an ID. Say ID equals input. We'll say, yeah, input element. I don't like that. Nah, just input. That's fine. Alright, so we got a null pointer because we did not actually specify the element. That's another thing that I was intending to work on at some point is better error messages. But for now, I'm just gonna have to say locate by xpath, and we really should create a locate by ID. That would make this much easier. Add xpath equals input. Yeah, ID equals input. So there is that. Now in theory that should run. Or at least not give us the same null pointer. Oh geez, my camera's screwing up again. Always fun. Oh, that broke. Okay. Expected true but found false. Why did you think that? Oh no. Why did you think that? Ah, because you use the get text, but it doesn't contain the text because, oh, so this is another case of where we would use interactors. Very interesting. First, let me fix the camera because that, oh, okay, it's fine now. It was not fine a second ago. Or is it just whenever I look at it? No, okay. Yeah, this is another case where you would want to use interactors. So I guess let's go through the process of implementing one so that we can actually test this. Because otherwise we really can't test that the input stuff worked. That's not true, we can pause it. Yeah, we'll just pause it. We'll deal with this another time. Yeah, screw this. We'll just pause it. Yeah, the user clears the text, blah, blah, blah. We would want to pause that. Where would we want to pause that? We'd want to pause that. Not there. At run? No. We want to go to the implementation of this, wherever it might be. There we go. For those, run those. Okay, cool. It would be at the end. It would be basically right before we close the browser. That's what I'm looking for. Is it on the API? Did I really put it there? No. Implementation? Potentially. Because it's in the listener. No, because Gherkin wouldn't have it. No, it would be in here. So the logger listener, the browser manager listener. That's where it is. Right here. Oh yeah, we're ignoring breakpoints. Do we have breakpoints? Remove all. That's fine. We'll add that there. Alright. Now we can debug this, and it should work. Well, we should get some more information on it at least. Yeah, alright, let me look at this camera while that's working. Filters. Chroma key. working, or is that's worse? Okay. This is just gonna get worse, isn't it? How's that? That's a little bit better. That's better. A correction. Alright. It's better. Okay, so this is paused. And actually the Firefox browser was the thing we wanted to look at. Yeah, so the input has been cleared. Okay, that's all I wanted to see. So I don't know. I wonder if this throws an error if this is disabled. I would imagine it should, because in theory you can't clear a disabled input, but Selenium has surprised me. Not, has surprised me before. Specifically this stream about 10 minutes ago. What happened there? Oh. Invalid element state. Okay, that's perfect. Because it should not be disabled. Yeah, there we go. And so I know that we have tested the validate text stuff, so I'm confident in that. It is just, the input stuff that we need to test. Then the user. Actually, we can clear this, and then we can say the user inputs hello world. No, that's not how you spell world. Pro tip. Inputs. Inputs hello world into the element input. All right. Now, if we run this, what we should end up with is we should end up with the browser paused, and then on the input, it should have hello world. Which it does. Okay. Alright, so I am happy with that. That will fail to close. That's all perfectly fine. No one cares. Alright. So we have that running, and I'm looking for the next thing. So we have clear, click, input, and then it's just the validate attribute stuff, because I think we have all of the validate text stuff enabled and displayed. So the validate attribute stuff, what we can do is we can say then the user, then the element. Not happy with that. Then the element input, or no, I'm sorry. Then the value of the attribute value on the element input has the value, is hello world. Okay. Yeah, Eclipse, we get it. Okay. So now, this should just run. And it does. Okay. So now, we can start checking that this fails correctly, so we can just remove the L on this. And it is not that, it is that we run. And yeah, what we should find is that this fails, doesn't close the browser. Yep. Perfect. Oh, expected. Oh, I wrote the asserts backwards, huh? Yeah. Whoops. Nope. We expected that, but we found that. Yeah. So yeah, these asserts, just writing them backwards is not a huge problem. Not a huge problem. Okay, so we expect that to be that. We expect that to be that. Yes. Okay, I think everything else is fine. Yes, okay. And so this will phrase this correctly. So now we'll say contains hello. And then we can copy paste this a couple times. Does not contain goodbye. Grab this. And then we can say is not. Is not. And say hello because it's not hello. And it's we could say is. We've already said is, but yeah, you know. So these should all succeed. And if they do succeed, I'm not going to worry about the negative test because the negative test is trivially the opposite. Although normally if I was doing this for my job, I would clearly be doing a very rigorous test. Okay, so all of that works, which I'm really confident in. Okay. So, camera's still working right, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to call that pretty much tested. Because we validated the text, we validated the attribute, the is selected and is enabled stuff, we validated before. So yeah. So now we just need to actually get the full interactor system set up. Basically, that's going to involve creating interactors for absolutely everything. So those are going to go not in test builder, no, I think it's in the browser module actually. Yeah, the interactors, okay. And so interactors, we are going to have, for click, we're going to have a clear interactor. Clear. We're going to have an input interactor. Input interactors. We are going to have validate attribute, or no, we'll have attribute interactors. Because really it's the get attribute. Does that make any sense though? I don't think it does. So I think the attribute ones we actually don't need to override. Because there's not really any way that you can, because an attribute, yeah, there's no point. The text ones, really the only thing with text is formatting. Well, attributes are formatting as well. I could see, I don't know, I'll have to think about the attributes. The text, there are different things you can do with text. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say we have a text interactor. And then displayed, enabled, all that stuff. So displayed, enabled. And selected. And I think all of these are JavaScript properties that we can check. I think that's true. I know that hidden is the HTML version of this. Enabled, I don't know if you can check that with JavaScript. It's possible. Basically, the reason I'm thinking about JavaScript is just as a way to test stuff. So yeah, for text you can do, like you can say that for an input field, the text is actually equal to the value. So that's one thing you can do. I've seen that before. I'm thinking more about how the formatting is going to work, like how we're going to do the formatting. Before we worry about that, let us create a new clear interactor. Or let us create the clear interactor, I should say. So these extend to element interactor, yeah, okay. Alright, element interactor, and then we have a void, and then version of whatever, and then I think they accept, yeah, an element and an execution context. Okay. So they're basically all the same. So we can get rid of test page there. So this, Control-C, Control-V, display, or display interactor. Maybe it's displayed, yeah. So you can, if you're checking if something is displayed, sometimes what you want to check is you want to check if it's actually visible. Like if it's actually in the viewport, sometimes you don't. But that might be a different interactor, I don't know. We'll have to think about that. I've seen enabled have different meanings. Enabled interactor. Say is displayed interactor and is enabled interactor. These might actually, these do return a Boolean. This is displayed, so Boolean is enabled. Okay. There we go. Okay. So for this we need input, input interactor, and we can just go into that. We can say input. And so in this case, I believe we want to also accept a string. Yes, that's true. Input. I mean, technically, actually, this is a character sequence because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it a string. And technically, it's a char sequence, though. Or should this take the input arguments, actually? No, I don't think it should. I think it should just take this, and that should be good enough for it. Yeah, that should be good enough for it, because any other arguments we'd want to cache somewhere in the interactor itself, basically. And then you'd have an is selected. So we go here, is selected, and we just say is selected. And whenever I grab the input interactor, did I? Yeah, I made that void. Okay, good. Yeah, is selected, okay. And then finally, what we need to do is the text, not test, text interactor. Then really this is just returns a string, and then we just say get text. Yeah. And so this is the one where you might say that the text in an element is equal to the value of the value attribute, and that basically will let you get the text from an input field, because input fields don't normally store their value as a as text. They store it usually in the value attribute. So we have that. So let's go now to the decorator. And of course, these are just the interactors for element. Which I should specify that. Dot element. And all of you can go into element. Why does it want to create a copy? I do not understand that. Why? Why can't you just move? I don't understand. All of you, Move. It's one thing that I really don't get about Eclipse. Really? You're just incapable. What the? God, Eclipse, why do you suck? God, I don't understand. Like, people developing Eclipse, why doesn't this work? If I want to click and drag, I want to move, right? I want to move it into here. I don't want to create a copy, I want to move it. So why does it want to create a copy at the same layer? That doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, at least the file browser, like, you can argue that, there are difficult challenges, yes, but the file browser shouldn't be one of the issues with your platform. Like, you've had, what, 10, 15-ish years to perfect it? Like, seriously? You can't make a file browser work? I mean, the OS provides most of this. Some of the little things about this thing that just, not a fan of it. Okay, so we can move all of this into the element stuff. That's fine. See, that works. And then, of course, we want to create like a placeholder for interactors.page. Yeah, that'll work. And then .element, .click, all that nonsense, or yeah, all that stuff. And then instead of in listeners, what we want is the element interactor decorator. Yeah, this. Okay. Now we just need to store references to all of those interactors. So we say protected, clear interactor, interactor, clear interactor. Go. Okay. Then we need setters for those as well. I think we're just ignoring the submit method for the moment, because it really doesn't do much. Put interactor, okay. Protected is displayed interactor. Oh, whoops. I could spell protected. Is displayed interactor is displayed interactor. Protected is enabled interactor is enabled interactor. Protected is selected interactor is selected interactor. Alright, and then protected text interactor. Interactor, text interactor. Alright. So, have that. Have this. We want to say set clear interactor. Clear interactor. Nope, not clear. Clear interactor, yes. And then this dot clear interactor equals interactor. And then we have, let's create a copy. Actually, we can we generate copy? Yeah, we can. Is it, no, it's not that way, it's this. All right. So it is source, generate getters and setters, right? Generate getters and setters. So for these things, let's generate only the setters. We don't really need getters. I think that's right. Oh yeah, click and clear. But those already have, yeah, okay. Generate. Okay. And I'm going to rename this because I want to keep the naming I want to keep the naming consistent. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So in this, we have basically the same logic. If input interactor is not null, then we do input interactor dot input. And that is the element, string, and context. Say keys to send. Otherwise, dot input. I don't know why it doesn't like that. No. Oh, right, dot send keys. Keys to send, yeah. Okay. U, Y. Is not applicable for element, care sequence, execution context. But it actually is. Oh, it doesn't like it because it's not actually a care sequence. Well, right, because it's string. Okay, fair enough. I yield. I yield? Oh. Really? Wait, multiple care sequences? Oh, right, because it has to be the last. Interesting. Okay. That's fair. Keys to send, yeah. Interesting. I don't know why. So there can be multiple. That's interesting. I didn't notice that before. I'll have to look into why that is. So let's see. We'll have clear interactor is not equals to null. So we're going to say dot clear with element and context. And we run dot clear with nope, none of that. There we go. Get tag name. We don't do much with that quite yet. Get attribute. That's yeah, we don't do that. So we would just say actually element dot get tag name. Yeah, we just want to forward that call since we don't actually do anything with it. Same with element dot submit. Yeah. So we do that. Then we return element dot get attribute with that name. Then we will say return this. Either return that or that. And we're not going to call this that. We're going to call it is selected interactor. Dot is selected. Okay. Element dot is selected. Otherwise. Okay. Then we're going to do the same with enabled. Is enabled. Nope. Is enabled. Is enabled. Interactor. No, wait. Nope. Is enabled. Enabled. If I can ever spell. Is enabled interactor. There we go. Okay. Then we can do that. Okay. Nope. We want to return that. Element.getText. So we want it more complicated. Yeah, we want that. No, actually, we want that. That's fine. Because we want the text interactor. And then we can do that and that. And we can say element.getText. Okay. We can say element.getText otherwise, right? And we can test this getText interactor, of course. Here, the decorator, it is interesting that we could do like could override the find, but I don't think we need to do that. So we're just going to return element.find elements by. And then we will return element.find element by. And then here we're going to use the interactor and say the is displayed interactor, right? And then we'll do that. And then we will say dot is displayed. Yes. Nope. Then we return element dot is displayed. That is displayed. same thing with this get location. We're just going to return element.getLocation, and then element.getSize, then element.getRect. Nope, not getTagName.getRect. There we go. And then same with element.getCSS value, because we don't do anything with that. And then same thing with element.getScreenshot. And then hasval element and all that stuff. Okay, amazing. So I think everything is now used. Yes. Okay. So now, what we can do is we can create an interactor of some kind. Or sorry, we can create an annotation. We can say, I guess we can change this to click interactor. I don't like it so much, but we can do it. And then we have, wait, why don't you like that? Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, okay, that's fair. We'll just say click. That's fine. This is gonna break, like, everything. That's fine. Alright. Right, yeah, you know what, we'll just pretend it's not a problem. Just say get text, I guess. Get text. Get text. Just use the interaction name, that should be fine. I'm just gonna grab you, because I always forget. Whoops. Get F2, Control C, grab that, do that. So this is a text interactor. Alright, because I think the only thing that it affects is the get text. So now with this, what we can do is in text, we can actually say text value interactor. So now this implements text interactor, right? Okay, so what we're actually going to do is with the element, so we can do this one of two ways. We can either get the attribute value, which I think we're going to do, return element.getAttributeValue, which is value. So now, basically all this does is whenever the element, whenever we try to get the text value of an element, we are going to instead return the attribute value of value, which should be fine. So yeah, and now on our test page, we're going to say at getText, and that's going to use the text value interactor. Yes, text value interactor dot class. All right, so we're going to comment that out for now because we need to go into the page factory and actually add it. And so now we can do that. So yeah, one issue that we're going to have is how we're going to do this in a nice method, or in a nice way, I should say, not method, but I think the way to do it, okay. So what we can do is we can say, var annotations. Annotations. And say var interactor annotations. I is acting up a little bit. Is arrays.asList, right? So we can create just a list. And that's going to have the click.class and the getText.class. Okay. And then we can say the annotations that we want to process are the interactor annotations. You can say create a stream, And then you, of course, we can import. You can say stream dot, oh boy, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, dot map and a class to annotation classes is actually better. Interactor annotations so this is a class, and then what we're going to do is we're going to map it to method.getAnnotation, and then this will be of the class. So then after we do the map, we're going to do a filter, because we're going to end up with some nulls. So what we want to do is we want to filter, it's still a class, and it's going to be class not equal to null. I think there's a better filter for this, but I don't remember. And then we're going to collect that, and then the collector is going to be toList. All right, so now we have the relevant annotations. So we're going to say if annotations dot size, or sorry, if annotations dot is empty. Basically, if it's not empty, we're going to do something. And we want to create the decorator up here, right? And so if we pass in null for the decorator to the XPath locator, nothing will really happen. It knows just not to decorate it, is what I'm trying to say. So we want to create the decorator here, like we want to actually instantiate it here. And then what we want to say is for this. Oh, but these all, but they all have value. That's terrible. There's really no way. Alright, for annotation, in annotations. That's fine. So what we can do, we can import annotation, Java lang annotation, yep. So for each one, does annotation have a value by default? Oh my god, it doesn't. Oh my god, it doesn't. Oh, that's so terrible. There's really no way to do that, is there, huh? Okay. Annotation.getClass, .getMethod. And so the method is going to be value. We're not even going to worry about the parameter types because we don't need to. This is going to throw. Is this run with a try catch? Nope. Let's run with a multi-try catch. Yep. Alright. So we're going to get the value. Is going to be .getMethod.value.invoke, I believe. .invoke. And then we're going to pass in the annotation. And it doesn't have any arguments, so we don't need to pass that in. This has more, add catch, add exceptions, yep. Screw this. Of course, this is bad practice, you should never do it, yada yada yada, but we're testing. So once we do that, then what we say, oh, but we have to, oh my god, why? Alright, well, I tried, okay, never mind, alright, never mind. We were so close, basically we'd have to call the exact interactor we want to set, so we'll just have to say if annotation instance of click. Then what we say is click.value.newInstance, yeah, we'll just say that. Okay. Yeah, else if, annotation, not else if, annotation, instance of, get text. Then what we can say is Control C, and then we'll say, Wait. Click.value. This is not... Oh, okay. Click is going to be method.getIn. Or no. Wait. No, this is going to be annotation. Annotation. And of course, we're going to have to cast this to a click here. And then this is going to be getText. This is the setText interactor. Right, okay. So now we just get rid of all this junk. And now this should just work. Yeah. Okay. So in theory, if we go back to our test, wherever I left that, not test page, but test, just the test script, what we can then say is that we can say and say then the value of then the element we'll call this input, say dot contains the text, then it'll be ABC because I think that's the initial value we set. Which should be here, yes, ABC, okay. So this will fail, and that is because the default interaction system, the default interaction is going to be to try to get the actual value of the tag. The input tag doesn't try to get the text from the tag. The input tag doesn't have text. It has a value attribute that it uses to determine what the actual, input text is. So this will predictably crash. It will be like what will it be? It's an assertion error. Expected true but found false, which is probably validate text contains. Yes, okay. Because, yeah. However, if we now go over to the test page, and we uncomment this, this should now work. So basically, it's using like a decorator/bridge pattern. Yeah, there we go. It's using like a decorator/bridge pattern to do it. It's kind of neat. It's a nifty little pattern I picked up at some point. So now we can say, I think it's has the text. Oh yeah, has text. Has the text, ABC. And this should also work, because this checks the exact text. So this should be a run as Java application. Yes, that works correctly. We see the done. And we can test that we can test the negative case by saying ABCD, because it does not have that. So let's see, we run this, and what do we get? Oh god, my green screen's acting up again. However, this failed. Okay. Filters. Nope. It's definitely not doing it. Nope. I'm becoming invisible. Alright, so this is still lighter. There we go, that's better. I become invisible. Okay. It's probably as good as I'm gonna get. I'm only gonna be streaming for another couple minutes anyway. Yeah, the lighting is changing and I'm relying primarily on the external lighting. But yeah, I expected ABC but found ABCD. Perfect. Okay. And so that is the interactor system. Not completely done, but more done than not. More done than it was yesterday, put it that way. Yeah, I'm starting to like this quite a bit. One thing we need to do is we need to actually, for this locate by, we need to break this out into multiple interactors, or multiple things. So this probably needs to be like a locate by URL, locate by XPath, locate by ID, stuff like that. Probably going to work on that tomorrow, though, because my brain is not going to be able to do that today. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And again, the decorator is only created if an interactor is specified. Some loud noises. Interesting. All right, but we can test that by decorated element locator. Yeah, we can test that by putting a breakpoint here. So since we don't have any decorated elements, debugging this should yield nothing. But I have been wrong before. Oh, that's fun. Why did you happen? No, really, why did you? Oh. Oh, right, because, right, okay. But the decorator itself is null, so it's actually the element interactor decorator. This is what doesn't get created. And I don't think I have a way to prove that. But I can now. Var s equals null, or var s equals this. Okay, let's just break that. Get rid of that. Alright, now this should... It's an orphaned instance, that's fine. Alright, now this element interactor decorator, that should never be created. So if we debug, that's the Java application. Yes, there we go. So it never gets created. Or, no, the assertion error. Why does that die? Oh yeah, that's... Where? Expected blank, but found ABC. Oh yeah, that's fine. Expected blank. Why did you expect... I don't care. No, actually, why did you? Why did that happen? Element here. Okay, assert equals. Oh, wait, these are in the reverse order now? I thought... Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was wrong for the other ones. Whatever. I could swear. Value. Actual expected, okay. So I had that right the first time? Question mark? Why did it not look right in the output? Okay. I'll have to keep an eye on that, because that looked weird. But yeah, anyway, this failed, that's fine. We expect the script to fail because this is not valid without the interactor. But as we can see, this interactor, or this decorator, did not get created. But now, if we go back to the page, we go to the interactor here. Now, whenever we run this, what will happen is the decorator will get created. There we go. So yeah, the decorator gets created, that's why it breaks here. And then the script will pass, because it will then contain the actual text. Ha ha ha. Okay, there we go. Let's just get rid of that. Okay. Alright, so that is adding in the interactor system and sort of fleshing it out. We need to fix this logic. I'm not really sure what to do about that. I gotta think about it a little bit. But, yeah. So, that is how you do that. Yeah, so I think I'll call it here. Anyway, that is some Java automation framework stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and probably be live tomorrow.